Alright, gonna make another video. I don't know what I'm gonna call this, probably like WTF is going on. I don't know. I don't know what this will turn into. It might just be a bunch of rambling. Yep, and I don't even know where I'll start or where I'll get into. It'll be off the top of my head probably. Just gotta put something out there, I guess. What is going on? I guess to sum it all up is we were all born, every single one of us that's alive right now, into a society where immoral behavior was allowed everywhere and it was taught. Lying and deception was allowed. And controlling and enslavement has been allowed. For whatever reason, you can't know that. When you can know that we were all born as slaves, well, most of us. And you can know that. Most people can't, like, really wrap their heads around that, though. Which is crazy. Not crazy, because I understand why. But, yeah, most people can't understand how we're enslaved. Most people believe, oh, we came up, most people believe the history that was taught to them. Most people don't understand, like, consider the government in my country, the United States. It's the federal government. It's owned by a corporation. Federal government's owned. It's funny that the same people that own the government own 97% of the rest of the governments as well. Own 90%, 97% of all the banks in the world. Own 97% of pretty much everything. It's funny how there's a layer, like, of people of society that consists of like 10 to 15 people, and they're like at the top that we even know of. Like, then that's allowed, and they're allowed to make all the decisions. Like, you trace all this stuff up, you trace where the governments came from, who established them, like who owns them. Yeah, it goes up to a very few amount of people who pretty much run the entire world. That's a fact, really. It's the hierarchical structure that's been set up here. And then you consider, go inside the country, inside the country, whoever's country. Most of them are owned by these people. And consider all the corporations that are like inside the country that are owned and funded by the government, that is owned by one corporation, that are actually on top of the world and own everything, really. They got their fingers in everything. But they own all the government funded stuff too, and all the organizations. Or all the corporations. They own all those as well. So that means these people at the top, they own the schools, they own the hospitals, they own the colleges, they own pretty much anything they want. They own the major industries that distribute and produce food. They own those as well. They're funded. So when you think about all that there's people who has complete influence over the government because they own it, they run it, they supply it money, infinite amounts of money, to make infinite amounts of debt. It's all fake. But they make decisions. They get passed all the way down, just down the ladder. All the way down from the very top. And everybody underneath them accepts it and passes it down. For what reason? Their position in whatever company they are in, for whatever reason. Like, it gets to the point where the bosses stop, and it's just these people at the top. And then all the people under them working for these people. So being born into this, which was already in effect when we got here, this type of structure had already been set up. This is age-old shit that's been implemented. It's been used. And yeah, these are the people that they're having these toxins that are in everything mass produced and put everywhere. All the toxins in the food, water, air, vaccines, medications, shampoo, and body products, and the makeup. It's in everything. It's absolutely horrific. People can't think deep enough to really get that bigger picture because of all the toxins that are in their body. That is why I couldn't get it. That's why I was so crazy for 20 years. So cut off from myself, like from mind and heart. I was a complete repeater that just took in information and repeated it. It didn't matter who it came from, if it, I don't know. Yeah, I was in a really fractured state of being and of everything. And from where I stand right now, most people that I see, whether it's online or it's in person, yeah, are in that state. That used to be so normal to me. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy. And it's because of all the toxins. That's why I talk about the toxins so much. Like, that is what is keeping you so, I won't say you, but these individuals, most people, unable to comprehend this type of information seriously. Point is, there's a solid truth you can get to inside yourself of understanding how things work. Like, seriously. Not just a believing how things work, there's an actual knowing how things work, like, and with that comes knowing that there isn't in fact a creator or a god. If people were to stop eating the toxins, stop doing all the toxins, stop putting them into their bodies, stop putting them into their kids, they would begin to heal naturally from all the damage that's being done, and this bigger picture of things that are going on inside themselves and outside themselves would all start to make sense. That's why I push those videos, or not those videos, but that type of information. That's why I talk about that. Because when I came out of that, oh, I could see the damage that was done to me by it. And then coming with that is yeah, hopefully realizing, okay, well, holy shit, we really can't trust these people that have been over top of us this whole time, like. And that goes for all the people everywhere, like looking up, saying, okay, we can't trust these people. And the people above them going, like, okay, I can't trust you. You know, everyone looking up, like, all right, what the fuck's going on? Who's up to this shit? Who's up to this mind control? Fucking damn, sorry for my swear words, I'll cut it out. Who's up with the damn, who's responsible for this damn fake news getting reported? Why is this bullshit happening? Who's responsible for these ingredients being in this shit, even though it's like poison? Like, why isn't this fucking... Who's responsible for this? Everyone would look up, and it come from the top. It is coming from the top. It's ridiculous, but nobody looks at this stuff because they're so toxic. They're so busy with their escapism. They're so busy with their work, their money, their materialism, their sex, their drugs, their alcohol, their beer, their TV, their video games. Every day, this stuff continues to go on. Everyone gets up, goes to do their job. Everyone gets up, goes to work in their government job, even if a job may be like you may be performing some of the most immoral acts, like some of these police officers getting up to go like reinforce on the people. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying, like, this is what's happening. People are going to work for this system that's deceptive and has lied to all of us and is not here for our benefit. They're benefiting off of us. It's everybody. Everybody's doing the same stuff. Nobody's looking up. No one is consciously getting to the point like this to where they're like, okay, yeah, why do I go have meaningless conversations about bullshit every day? Why is no one talking about this deeper shit yet? Like in public. Like, there should be like... Seemed like this would catch on more. Nobody's consciously getting to the point to where we're like, okay, we need to like all be collectively trying to get on the same page here, actively every day, even if you have to go to work, because that's how you have to pay. Like it's about changing your everyday behavior, like your free time behavior, what you're spending your time thinking about. Most people are not. That's that lost principle, the principle of care. Most people are thinking about, and in turn caring about, their escapism, their money, their sex, like this nonsense. All of the distractions, their sports, their politics, anything. That's where they keep their mind. They don't keep their mind considering that there's a whole deeper side, and a whole deeper side inside of you, and what's being done to it, like actively and purposefully, and feel that it's complete insanity being portrayed by all of these main sources of information are sources of everything, really. They trickle down to people like, I guess, you and me. I don't know who you are, but regular people, folks. Where was I going? I don't know. That's what it was, yep. People not talking about this stuff, caught up in their own other nonsense shit, while they continue to poison themselves, and you can see the beliefs right in them, like, oh shit, they still believe that government is legit, holy shit. Like, holy fuck, no one has followed any of these rabbit holes that have been fucking been there since really as far back as you can look. And whatever you want to believe in history, but since I've been born, and since before I was born, because my parents were alive then, this type of shit has been going on, and people have been trying to expose it, but it never, like, picked up fully and deeply. No, and not picked up by enough people, and then suppressed. And then more and more damage being done so that it gets harder and harder for someone to even consider such a drastic change in a present moment. It would feel like you're gonna die, and that's really that's what it's gonna feel like. Regardless, you're gonna have to accept that information, like completely kill that ego. That's what that egoic death feels like. It feels like dying. You're dying to yourself and becoming something else. You really gotta accept it. You've been lied to on a deeper level than you could even fathom. It is the level of creation. It's the level of nature. It's where you find God, the Creator, your connection to it. Most overlook all of this truth that's put out, all of the evidence. Like, it doesn't matter how much, like, hey, look, here's solid proof that this type of shit is going on. Here's a bunch of it. It's all of it. It's everywhere. And people look at this like, what? This dude's fucking crazy. This is crazy. These are all these topics these conspiracy theorists are talking about. Because you got this conspiracy theorist label given to you from the networks that media that's owned by these same fucking people. Sorry again. You got them programming labels in your head. Oh, you see you're so narrow-minded, you see some of these topics come up, like the vaccines and then the chemtrails, and you see all this stuff, and then it's labeled. You see the word conspiracy all over that type of information. And then everyone's all like, oh, it's a conspiracy, it's fake, because I still trust my overlords. I still believe them. I still believe the people up there that are controlling all this are in my best benefit. While the people down here are like, hey, no, all this stuff's poisonous, and all these people up here are like, they're the ones responsible for this. Like, they got most of us down here fooled, even the ones up top. I've said that before. Like, this is being done by few people, all simply by holding knowledge from the people below them. Knowledge of self. Mind control. Really, it is. That's what it is. Mind control. People need to start, like, thinking, like, taking the free time to, like, step away from their damn screen and like just start thinking about things that they fucking heard. Like, look at this shit. Excuse me, with the words again. And like, look at this stuff that's being presented. These thoughts that bounce around in your head, if they do. Consider all this stuff. Stuff about consciousness, the stuff about feeling, the stuff about your feelings. Go feel your feelings. You'll know how much it's like it's not hard to see how disconnected people are, and then how so many things are just not talked about, and it all stays on the surface level layer of bullshit. Everything. You go and see public speakers on the news and stuff, like the president and stuff, and all they do is use this simple baby talk, and everyone's like cheering them on, and it's like, it really is like we're living in idiocracy. If you can realize it or not, that's really what that movie was portraying. It was portraying society in such a way, because it's been this way. It's been going down this path since before we got here. If no one is talking about this stuff, nothing's gonna change. We're gonna continue to have to slave our lives away. And if we don't have to slave our lives away, we get into a position where we're manipulating other people, which has a karmic and spiritual debt, when you're controlling other people for material gain, you got people less than you, the whole system coming up in it, and the more money you make, the more control you have over others, or influence you have over others. Just because you're popular, you get money. Because you have influence, you get paid by whoever to say whatever, do whatever. People take the money and think, oh, I got rich, but I was just bought out. There's people that just get famous. I won't get into all that shit, but Hollywood, the music industry, it's all twisted. And that's what I'm trying to get across, though. Pretty much the same thing in every video is, okay, there's a whole side of things that we've been cut off from. That's absolutely profound and actually makes life what life is. And completes what to me used to feel like I don't even know what it felt like. It felt like nothing like it does now. So to me, it makes your life actually feel more real than it ever has. That's been taken from us, and purposefully, for control, by people who are known to own everything in the world. It's been pointed out and followed down in so many different ways, and so many different people are sharing it, just nobody's looking at it because they're too caught up in the distractions that are presented and owned by the same people. Come on. But that's it. We're cut off from that. There is, in fact, a knowing how your thoughts and feelings and emotions work, and how everything manifests into physicality. You can also know, if also knowing that things do not have to be the way that they are. You can know that. That's a knowing. And you can see clearly after you can sift through all the bullshit that's been taught for you to believe how things could be so different and so amazing and so heaven-like for everybody. No one would be starving, no one would be suffering, everyone would have shelter, everyone would have land, everyone would have fun, everyone could do whatever they wanted to do, as long as it didn't cause harm. Why do we not live like that? Why are we racing against each other? Why? I tell you why. It's been programmed into us, and we don't know anything different because we can't consider or conceptualize or feel anything, because we're so toxic. And it was like that when every single person that's alive right now got here. Whether it was people down here at the bottom like you and me, like my parents, like their grandparents, or their parents, my bad. Or whether it's one of these sick, twisted individuals that are high up in this layer of society, that were born into one of these family bloodlines that just gets born and taught hey, you're one of us. You're one of these, one of us. We own all this stuff. This is how you use all this stuff. This is how you make all this stuff. This is how you control all of this. It's talked about before a population of everyone could fit. In absolutely anywhere, like in the size of Texas, everybody in the world could fit. And that's saying that there's actually 7 billion people in the world. Everyone could fit in the size of Texas. I don't know how someone would calculate the number of people in the world. Like, really, how do you calculate a number like that? People just believe that shit, though. Stop consuming all the toxins. Understand how we're being deceived here and how it has happened. And understand how it's being done currently. And spread that information to others. To me, seeing it and knowing it, it is a obligation, like from the Creator, from God. Like that's a strong obligation. It feels like to put this type of information out there, to become the character that stands up and defends what's true and what's right in such a deceived place. And more people should be being that. More people should overcome the fear for whatever reason. Like nothing's gonna change. You're whatever this is that's going on here. You're a part of as everyone else who's a part of it. And nothing's gonna change that, and you're still gonna be there with you, whether you want to face it or not. If you want to face it after you die, go for it. I don't know what that looks like. I know it's pretty scary while you're here, but very necessary. Dedicate time to actual learning. They need to get past the inner workings of themselves. They need to get past the reconciliation. They need to get past all of that to get to a point to where you can actually start developing. Because it's not an instant thing. You got to develop your language. You got to train your train of thoughts to work. Because you'll come to know how damaged you actually are once you see the other side of things. And how foreign it is in there for some people like me. I know some people get caught up in it. Some people are, connected deeper to themselves at a younger age. I wasn't until I was 20. Sad to say. Oh well. But some people can feel things deeper and see things deeper and have been traumatized from such a young age. Like so many people, most people. Most people would experience the symptoms of depression from a young age. And that turns into however strong of depression. To where you got people's inner demons inside of them running around, making them feel like they want to kill themselves. Just running amok inside of their mind. Because they don't know what's going on. They can't put it together. They're not taught the correct information, and all they see is immoral, disconnected behavior from everyone. And so many families are so disconnected, and so many children witness arguing because man and woman aren't connected. There's still like issues there that they haven't worked through, and people are having kids, and oh man, it's just ridiculous how many people are just so messed up, traumatized. And then they get their thoughts, yep, run loose on them. And they don't know how to deal with that. And if they're poisoned as well, it makes it extremely difficult to do so, especially without the right type of information. And that's hard to find from anyone. They're not gonna make stuff like this mainstream. You're not gonna find this in the sources you've been taught to trust. This type of stuff. Everyone has to play a part in this. Everybody. Or most people have to. Most people have to stand up and be the person that stands out and talks about this stuff and overcomes the fear of it and talks about it and brings it up and shares it to others and actually puts in the actual effort to trying to help others see what they've been cut off from. It's going to take most people being that person and spreading that kind of truth, this kind of truth, and talking about it and helping people work through this and understand what's happened to them. And it's going to need to be said in many places. You can look up the damaging effects that the radiation has on you. The microwave radiation that's put off by the cell towers, that's put off by the Wi-Fi boxes, computers, phone, Xbox TVs, smart meters, all that stuff. You can look up the damaging effects of that. Literally, I've said somewhere in this video that everything is electromagnetism. Everything exists along the electromagnetic spectrum. Everything you see exists only in a small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum called visible light. That is everything you can see. And then there's all these other frequencies and all this other stuff that's resonating and it's in existence and can be picked up and detected and used. And yes, frequencies, literally. And we have our own natural frequencies that we put off and receive ourselves with our heart and our minds. We have the toroidal field electromagnetic, field of energy around us. It's our frequencies as well. We emit and pick up frequencies. And these frequencies that all these put off, these radiation frequencies, literally, it's like radiating you, disrupts the frequencies of the human body, and patents for this stuff that's like neurological manipulation with electromagnetic frequencies and like this type of stuff's been patented for this reason. Like this stuff's ridiculous. But 4G is already damaging to us. They're about to put in 5G, which are these millimeter wave frequencies, where the frequencies, are just super powerful, super short distance, but super powerful. And they're gonna put up a bunch of 5G stuff everywhere. And these are like, these millimeter waves have been, oh man, they're like used for like the energy weapon type stuff you hear about, like directed energy weapons. And like that is not something good. Like they're being supercharged frequencies gonna be put around everybody that already manipulate your electromagnetic energies that flow in and out of your entire body, through your heart, through your mind, through your spine, through your entire body. You resonate with with frequencies. Imagine even more manipulation of that. We already go with 5G, that shit. Yep, it's gonna be put in everywhere. It's gonna be sold by the, big major telecommunication networks that, that own all these towers that are owned by the same people. Man. Yep, owned by the same people. If spreading the information about how to change all of our lives and end suffering everywhere, world peace, that can save all of us from all the destructive things. If spreading information that could, save everybody from suffering and make life on this place we live on so much better for everybody. What is important if that's not important? Really? Yeah, that's what it boils down to. People caring about other things rather than the things that need to be cared about. currently. Yes, we are in a state where we actually have to put in some damn effort to get out of the damn ditch that we find ourselves in, and we were already in when we got here. But, yep, the point is, we all need to start looking at it. Looking at all this stuff. Looking deeper inside of things. Looking deeper into yourself. Stop consuming the toxins. So that the people will stop making the toxins. They will look at what they're doing and, yeah, they'll just stop making them. Jeez, it needs to get that far. We need to stop making the damn shit to begin with. Stop making a chemical-based food. Stop buying it from these people. Everybody just needs to, like, get on this same page. So it stops getting put in there. People just start realizing these things. They could change so quickly. Things could start changing really quickly. If this stuff would just get talked about. And understood. Because there's an understanding what is going on here. How people are being controlled. And that it's actually happening. And that we are all the ones perpetuating our own enslavement all over each other. And racing against each other. Yep. Fucking shit. I'm gonna end this video here. I might cut this up, do something with it tomorrow or something. Just some late night thoughts or something. I don't know what the hell I'm even call this anymore. Might take some snippets out of it, I don't know. Alright, hopefully I do something with this. Thanks for whoever listens to this. Here's the end for the video. Thanks for listening.